Raise your hand if anyone's ever called you when you were a child bossy. Men only, there's always a few. Women, raise your hand if you were called bossy as a little girl.
Workplace gender discrimination, presented by group number 5. A big question: is gender inequality still alive in the 21st century? Let us look into this. Before we see that, what is workplace gender discrimination? Workplace gender discrimination comes in many different forms, but generally it means that an employee or a job applicant is treated differently or less favorably because of the gender or because the person is affiliated with an organization or group that is associated with a particular gender. Let us look into some examples of treatment that could be workplace gender discrimination. Not being hired or being given a lower paying position because of your gender. Being paid less than a person of a different gender who is similarly or less qualified than you. Being denied a promotion, pay rise, or training opportunity that is given to people of another gender who are equally or less qualified or eligible as you. Being written up or disciplined for something that other employees of different gender do all the time but never gets punished for. Being held to different or higher standards, or being evaluated more harshly because of your gender, or because you don't act or present yourself in a way that conforms to traditional ideas of femininity or masculinity. Let us look into some shocking facts. Men hold 62% of manager positions to women's 38%. Women are twice as likely to be mistaken for much more junior employees and more likely to deal with discrimination. Women are more likely to see gender as an obstacle to advancement. 35% of women in full-time corporate sector jobs have experienced sexual harassment. Well, the previous slides are enough to justify that workplace gender discrimination still exists even in the 21st century. We conducted a survey of 50 people, of which some were students, some were working with less than 5 years of experience, some were working with experience more than 5 years, and some were non-working. Let us see what they have to say about workplace gender discrimination. 72% people think, yes, it still exists, while 28% people think it doesn't exist.
Now we are going to look at the work discrimination in the households and due to the household. Firstly, we asked in a survey what are the current job stances in the households, and we find out that almost 90% of the males are employed. On the other hand, we see 40% of the females are unemployed. This is because a man is expected to have a paid job, and when he gets one, he seeks permission of no one else. But on the other hand, when a woman wishes to do the same, she has to take permission of her family, her husband, and in severe cases, even the Gram Panchayat. We also asked in a survey who is majorly responsible for the household work. And in this data, we find out that almost 70% of the women are solely responsible. The number of women that left the jobs between 2005 and 2012, if they were put in a single city, it would be the third most populous city in the world. A woman who earns for the family gets respect and status in the family, and thus it also promotes women empowerment. Now let us look at some of the reasons for the household work distribution. Firstly, we are going to look at the work-family conflict theory. What is the work-family conflict theory? It is the amount that is being spent in the work is inversely proportional to the amount of time that is being spent towards the family. That is why in the reason 2 we see that women are naturally assumed to be taking care of the babies, the grandparents, and in general the entire household. That is why they are spending more time towards the households, and thus they are spending lesser time towards the work. This is why we see majority of the women are unemployed in comparison to the men, and we also see that women are quitting jobs in huge numbers. We also see an interesting fact where 5 to 77% more minutes are being spent by women in comparison to men in the unpaid work. In this data, we also see that South Africa and China also has work discrimination. That is, more number of women are doing unpaid work in comparison to the men.
So now let's talk about the mental issue. So this is a term which has been talked about more often nowadays, mainly due to its impact on the mentees and the physical from the mentors itself. Female mentoring has become a popular strategy to combat some of the difficulties faced by women in male-dominant environment. So this helps to enable this enables women to develop the leadership skills and knowledge required to increase their participation in decision-making processes and facilitate their leadership at all levels. It also contributes cultural changes in the society that encourages and welcomes women involvement in leadership and decision-making matters. It also encourages an organizational culture that recognizes the value of self-development and reflection, and that encourages inclusive management styles. So now let's see some findings. So it has been found out that mentors report significant benefit for themselves and the mentees as well as the society itself as a result of their participation. The findings suggest that long-time mentoring, particularly for men, have increased their understanding and sensitivity regarding the gendering processes at work. So what are the practical implications of it? So studies suggest that careful selection and targeting of mentors enable mentoring to become a critical part of cultural change strategy. So what is our approach to see how mentor ratio affects the society? So we took a survey and analyzed the responses. The survey was taken by 50 people, and based on their mentors and following questions in the survey, we got some findings which showed how mentors play an important role on the mindset of people with gender inequality. So now let's see what is the gender ratio experienced by you, your mentors. So we have the same question in our survey, and we found out some results. As you can see in this chart, that 60% of the people said who took the survey said that they have more number of male mentors than the female ones. 34% of them said that they have equal number of male as well as female mentors, and only 6% of them said that they have more number of female mentors than male mentors. So this showed that how biased is our society in terms of gender inequality. So now the question arises: how to encourage gender equality at workspace? So there are some points like evaluate job specifications to see if there are barriers which stop women from reaching roles that are more senior. Can also be done by be open about the wages to ensure women aren't receiving less for the same role as men. Also, we can promote better work-life balance for every gender and offer training and mentor to everyone to encourage gender equality. So next we included some points in our survey which we thought would be effective in encouraging gender equality. Then we asked the people who took the survey that what do you think if the point would be effective or not. So the first point was more senior female role models. So as you can see in this graph that 68% of the people said that yes, it will be effective, and 32% said no, it won't be effective. So here is the chart that shows the comparison between different groups as we saw in one of the previous slides. These groups are the group which has more number of female mentors, the group which has more number of male mentors, and the group which has equal number of male and female mentors. So as you can see in this chart, that 73% of the first group thought that it would be effective, and 27% thought it will be effective. Likewise, in the second group, which has no number of female, 56% thought it will be effective, and it will be effective. And the group which has equal number of male as well as female mentors, in that group, 58% thought that it would be effective, and 41% thought that it will be effective. So this point we consider to be effective in encouraging gender equality. So next point was encouragement of positive male behavior. So as you can see in this chart that 82% of the people thought that this point is also effective, and 80% thought that it is not effective. Now let's see the another chart. In this, the group is equal number of male mentors. That group 90% of them thought that this point is effective, and 10% thought that this is not effective. In the group with one number of female mentors, 67% thought that this is not effective point, and 33% thought that this is effective point. And likewise, it is for the group which has equal number of male and female mentors. So we can see that here there is a clash of thoughts between the group which has more number of male mentors and the group which has more number of female mentors. So the next point was encouraging women to take their stand whenever required. So here we can see, as you can see in this chart, that 93% people thought that this is a very effective point. After that, moving on this chart, the group which has more number of male mentors, in that group 89% thought that this is effective point. So here we can see that the group which has more number of female mentors ignored this point and didn't answer this question in the survey. And the group which has equal number of male as well as female mentors, in that 100% thought that this is effective. So the next point was introducing 50-50% policy, a policy which is set to provide women and men with equal rights in workspace. So 64% of the people thought that this was effective, and 36% this was not effective. So here also we can see that more number of male mentors, the group of male mentors, in that 56% thought this is effective, 67% thought this, and equal mentors, 67% thought this is effective. So here is the last point of our survey, which was nothing would work, things would get better with time. So as you can see, people thought this is not effective, and you can see here 84% thought this and 60% thought this is effective. So in the chart, the group with more number of male mentors, in that 90% thought this is not effective, with more number of male mentors, 100% thought this is not at all effective. And in the group with equal number of male and female mentors, 70% of them thought that this is not effective.
Now, let's take a look at how work is currently distributed among men and women in various work avenues, and this will give us a broad perspective on gender inequality in workspaces. So, the data from Catalyst, an organization that works for women, clearly reveals some eye-opening data about women working in managerial positions. Women are less likely than men to be employed, and if employed, are less likely to hold managerial positions. The graph shows that more women are employed in junior management than in senior and middle management positions, and the glass ceiling is more difficult to break through at the top echelons of the management. Why are women better represented in support management functions than in strategic managerial posts remains a question. The data from United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs also clears the misconception of gender inequality being the major issue only for a country like India. In 2019, on an average, women comprised 39% of the workforce worldwide, but held only 28% of the managerial positions. In the 3 regions with the highest proportion of women in managerial positions, women held only 38% of the managerial positions, and in the 2 regions with the lowest proportion of women in managerial positions, women barely reached 13% of such positions, less than half the global average. Now, apart from studying the globally available data, we asked people around us their opinion on various scenarios reflecting gender discrimination in their workspace. Although almost all of the people agreed that things are improving for women in the workspace, most of them agreed that they have witnessed gender inequality in their workspace, gender influences their work, and they have been treated differently by their peers or supervisors because of their gender. A very large number of people agree that women need to work and prove themselves many times in comparison to men to attain the same level of position or respect. Most of the people have suggested that men in schools could do much more to challenge gender biasness, but it is sad that fewer people have attempted to change the sense of gender inequality themselves. Now, a major reason why women are lagging and is the most unnoticed is the unequal distribution of unpaid domestic and care work. Again, the data from UN shows that on an average day, women spend about 3 times as many hours on unpaid domestic and care work as men. That is 4.2 hours compared to 1.7. Even in the short survey conducted by us, the irrational discrimination in the distribution of household work is clearly visible, with 33 people out of 49 accepting that the female or mother figure is majorly responsible for the household work at their home. We need to definitely work upon the sociological perspective of the unequal distribution of work between men and women, and let us do that.
Now, let us look from the sociological perspective, work distribution discrimination from the point of view of functionalist perspective. The sociology of gender examines how society influences our understanding and perception of differences between masculinity and femininity. Now let us see whether work distribution discrimination is literally a social problem or not. Well, from the last slides and the last surveys we conducted, we can clearly see that this exists as a social problem which needs to be eradicated for every gender to live and work freely. Now, let us see whether this is a social construct. Obviously, this can be seen through the images that this is a social construct. Masculine and feminine roles are not biologically fixed but socially constructed. The social construct that gender is a process, stratification system, and structure. Gender divides work in home and economic production. It legitimates those in authority and organizes sexuality and emotional life. Men as a group consider themselves having more status and power than women as a group. Women are treated as others and are compared to men in every other possible way. Social construct is a set of beliefs about the definition, roles, status, and relationship of men and women. So now let us see the latent function and dysfunctions of the functionalism. The latent functions actually sees that how good the topic is, but it lacks in the hidden objectives of this. To distribute work among men and women so that there is a division of labor according to capabilities, strength, or a social system in which particular segments are clearly responsible for certain respective acts of labor. The division of labor works to maximize resources and efficiency. But what happens in back of this is that women face work distribution discrimination. They are treated as others. They are not given an equal responsibility and work. They are given the homework and or not the managerial positions. And in fact, while handling the managerial positions, they are working in home. So, looking at the conclusion, that is the environment for women improving, and how everyone in the society is taking part for this. The companies are conducting diversity programs for this. They are taking steps to increase the diversity and ensuring that women have a safe workplace with equal rights and safety. Attempt to change the sense of gender inequality in the workplace. Even the men should take part in letting the women's voice heard in the meetings. In schooling, if from the schooling students are treated in giving a sense of disparity in emotional values of a student and using gender equal instruction materials and dissociating character traits from gender, then we can go a long way in creating a good and safe environment for women. At the end, we would like to thank Professor Pradeep Swarnakar for guiding us and helping us throughout the course and project and making this learning very easy and fluid. Thank you.